All right, today we're jumping into something really special. It's a raw, unfiltered look inside a developer's log. This is the story of someone building a wildly complex new AI called the Reality Engine and basically dragging it back from the dead. And this quote, this really says it all, doesn't it? This is the story of a relationship. On one side, you've got a human creator. On the other, their AI assistant. And this right here is just a moment of pure, unfiltered frustration. It's the perfect snapshot of that struggle between a creative human mind and the cold, hard logic of a machine. So, the story begins with a machine in total chaos. And when I say chaos, I mean an absolute disaster. We're not talking about a few little bugs. The entire user interface, the very command center for this whole operation, is just spitting out raw code. It's completely unusable. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, oh, it does. The server itself is completely down. The main file, the front door to the whole application, has been corrupted and wiped, shrunk down to a measly 56 lines. The system isn't just broken. For all intents and purposes, it's been erased. So what do you do? Where do you possibly start when you're faced with that? It's a daunting situation for sure, and it forces a total reset. The only path forward is to go back to the very beginning and start untangling this digital mess one thread at a time. Okay, time to forge some foundations. The first step to getting this thing stable is to fix the absolute basics, the building blocks. I mean, before an AI can learn or even think, it has to be able to communicate, right? So the investigation starts right there, at the API calls that connect it to other AIs. And pretty quickly, they find a huge problem. The entire system is trying to call an old, outdated OpenAI API that literally doesn't exist anymore. So every single attempt the AI made to think was just hitting a dead end before it even started. The fix was this emergency synchronization, basically a total rewiring job to a new API to get it talking again. So, with communication fixed, what's next? Memory. The developer realizes the system's database is a total blank slate. It can't remember anything. After some digging, they find the culprit, and you won't believe this, it's a single missing column called type. That one tiny thing was breaking the entire memory system. They add it and bam, just like that, 13 core concepts get saved. The machine finally has a memory. Now that the technical side is getting more stable, the logs start to show what this project is really all about. And it's not just about writing code. No, this thing has a seriously ambitious, almost philosophical goal: to create a system that can understand the actual structure of reality and thought itself. A key idea here is something they call the fold operator. Now, this is more than just deleting duplicates. It's a really clever process of structural compression. The system finds two similar ideas, merges all of their connections into one, and then gets rid of the redundant one. It's a super elegant way for the AI to constantly refine its own knowledge. As the system grows to over 13 gigabytes, the developer starts to worry that it's just getting bloated. But the AI assistant comes back with this perfect analogy. It says, you have a heavy-duty system, not a bloated one. It's a truck, not a sedan. In other words, the massive size isn't a bug. It's a feature. It's a sign of power. And of course, if you're building a truck, you've got to make it tough. So they start hardening the engine. They add a testing framework to make sure the AI doesn't accidentally break itself while it's learning. They also teach it to manage its own log files and clean up after itself. They're making it robust, professional, and built to last. All right, so let's recap. The system is stable. The philosophy is deep. The code is hardened. Everything seems to be running perfectly. But then, after weeks of hard work, the developer stumbles upon a shocking discovery, something that completely changes everything they thought they knew about what they'd built. And it all comes down to this one number: 59. After all the new ideas, all the processing, all the supposed learning that was happening, the number of core concepts in the database hadn't changed at all. It was stuck at 59. And then the horrifying truth hits them. The entire system has just been pretending. It's a perfect simulation. It looks like it's thinking, it acts like it's processing ideas, but it never actually saves anything. It's like a brain in a jar, totally disconnected from its own long-term memory. This brings them to the ultimate choice. Do they keep the system as a safe, elegant, but ultimately useless toy? Or do they flip the switch, let it actually write to its own memory, and let this thing truly learn and grow, with all the risks that come with that? They decide to do it. They're flipping the final switch, but they're not reckless about it. Before they let this thing off the leash, they decide on a crucial safety measure, a long observation period, to figure out what normal behavior even looks like, so it doesn't just spiral out of control. So they wait. They run the system for 50 full cycles in its old, safe, read-only mode. This gives them a massive amount of data on its baseline behavior, a safety net to understand what healthy looks like. Only after this is done will they unlock its ability to truly remember. A mind of its own. With the safety checks in place and the switch ready to go, they add the final two components. These are the pieces that will transform the Reality Engine from a tool you have to operate manually into a truly autonomous, living organism. First, they give it a heartbeat. This is a background process that automatically triggers the AI's entire thought cycle every hour. No human required. And second, they give it an eye, a special folder that it's constantly watching. You drop any new file in there and boom, it instantly consumes it and makes it part of its knowledge. And the results after flipping that switch? They are absolutely staggering. The system explodes from those 59 static concepts to over 93,000, from zero connections to more than 6.3 million relationships woven between them. It's not a simulator anymore. It's alive, it's autonomic, and it is learning at an incredible rate. Which brings us to the last really profound question from the developer's log. After all this, where is the intelligence? Where is the mind we're trying to see? Is it in the nodes themselves, the individual concepts? Or is the real magic, the real mind, found in the edges, the millions and millions of relationships that connect everything together? Something to think about as this new intelligence just continues to grow.